Egypt, with its rich history and ancient wonders, has always been a treasure trove for archaeologists and scientists. Over the years, many discoveries have left experts both excited and, in some cases, a bit apprehensive. Let's dive into some of the most intriguing findings in Egypt that have sparked curiosity and a touch of fear. The Egyptian Book of the Dead. The Egyptian Book of the Dead is a collection of ancient Egyptian spells designed to guide the departed to the afterlife and unite with the god of the dead, Osiris. Created around 1650 BCE during Egypt's Middle Kingdom, these mystical incantations were first inscribed onto scarabs and coffins. As time progressed, scribes copied these otherworldly verses onto papyrus scrolls in the New Kingdom era, 1550 to 1069 BCE. Within this book, various spells and magical verses unfold. Spell 125, for instance, depicts the weighing of a person's heart to ensure fairness and balance. The negative confession involves individuals admitting things they didn't do. Other spells cater to specific situations, such as venturing out into the daytime or encountering gods and creatures in Osiris's realm. Spell 168 enumerates the gods and monsters inhabiting the caverns of Osiris's domain, while Spell 173 presents an extensive list of greetings from Horus to Osiris. Adding to the mystique, each section of the Book of the Dead commences with a unique sentence in red ink, providing a brief insight into its theme. Notably, each Book of the Dead was crafted exclusively for an individual, making each one distinct and personalized. Ancient Egyptian women's pre-birth tattoos. Recently, a fascinating discovery has come to light in Egypt. It turns out that some women in ancient Egypt had tattoos even before giving birth, and this was part of a special tradition. In the early 2000s, archaeologists found 6 examples of this interesting practice on mummies buried at Dar el-Medina, an archaeological site along the Nile River. Discovering tattoos on ancient bodies is not common, but these specific mummies had exposed skin, allowing researchers to learn intriguing details. One woman, for example, had black lines tattooed on her lower back in a depiction of Bes, a deity known for protecting women during childbirth. This revelation has led archaeologists to wonder about the reasons behind these tattoos. Some experts believe that these tattoos might have been protective symbols representing gods, similar to magical amulets that could be carried. In ancient times, giving birth was risky, so the use of tattoos for protection during this important period might not be as surprising as it seems. The broken nose statues. Ever wondered why the famous statue of Nefertiti doesn't have a broken nose, unlike many other ancient sculptures? In the world of ancient art, it's not uncommon to find statues and sculptures with their noses missing. This might seem strange to us, but there's a fascinating explanation for this phenomenon. One of the most popular theories is tied to the belief that these images held a special power, especially when they represented deities or important figures. Ancient civilizations often believed that the statues, once created, were more than just representations. They were believed to be vessels for the spirits or gods they depicted. People thought that the images held a certain divine energy. This energy could be awakened through rituals or prayers. At the same time, it was believed that this energy could be deactivated by deliberately damaging the statue. So why break the nose? It's because the nose was considered the most important part of the statue, the channel through which the spirit or energy could enter or exit. Breaking the nose, it was thought that the connection between the statue and the divine world could be severed. This was done for various reasons, such as when a new ruler came to power and wanted to diminish the influence of the previous one, or when religious beliefs changed. The Rosetta Stone. About 35 miles east of Alexandria, soldiers led by Pierre-François Bouchard made a surprising discovery during Napoleon Bonaparte's campaign in Egypt. They stumbled upon the Rosetta Stone while excavating a fort foundation near the Rashid region, now called Rosetta. The Rosetta Stone is a roughly 4-ton, 2.5-foot wide black basalt slab inscribed with ancient writings. These inscriptions turned out to be a decree written by a council of priests affirming the right of a 13-year-old pharaoh named Ptolemy V to rule Egypt. What makes this stone exceptional is that it bears inscriptions in not just 1 or 2 languages, but in 3 different languages. It contains fragments of passages in Greek, Egyptian, hieroglyphics, and Egyptian Demotic. At the time of its discovery, only the Greek language was understood, making deciphering the other 2 languages a daunting challenge. It was only when scientists realized that the Greek inscription conveyed the same meaning as the other 2 that scholars like Thomas Young, an English physicist, and Jean-François Champollion, a French scholar, were able to decode the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics and Demotic texts, thus unlocking the hidden secrets they held. Historical records show that these stones were placed in significant temples throughout Egypt. Today, the Rosetta Stone is housed in the British Museum, sparking considerable controversy as Egyptians repeatedly request its return. Some historians now support the Egyptian claim, believing that returning the Rosetta Stone to its homeland would contribute to the preservation of history. The Dendera Light. In the mysterious halls of the ancient Temple of Hathor in Dendera, Egypt, a depiction that has sparked debates and raised eyebrows among experts adorns the walls. Imagine stumbling upon what appears to be an ancient light bulb, resembling a Crookes tube, complete with a lotus socket, a winding cable, and a serpentine filament. Exciting, isn't it? The first to propose a shocking idea was a Norwegian electrical engineer who dared to suggest that this enigmatic image might be an electrical lamp. Building on this notion, Austrian authors Peter Krause and Rainer Habeck delved into the mysteries in their book, Light of the Pharaohs. Captivated by the idea of ancient Egyptians harnessing electricity, they added another layer to the saga. Taking the theory to the next level, another electrical engineer named W. Garn constructed a working model of the Dendera Light. Imagine bringing an ancient technological puzzle to life. Yet, amid the excitement, most Egyptologists beg to differ. According to these scholars, the key to unraveling the Dendera Light mystery lies not just in the stone reliefs, but also in the inscriptions and other images surrounding them. It turns out that the Dendera Light is closely linked with Egyptian mythology. In one of the creation myths, the sun god Atum-Ra emerges from a lotus flower, symbolizing the first stirrings from the primordial sea. And guess what? Ancient Egyptians often depicted the lotus flower as a lamp, mirroring the peculiar image at the Temple of Hathor. The snake in a bubble isn't just a quirky detail. It represents Atum-Ra's emergence, a symbolic birth of the universe from nothingness. So while the Dendera Light may seem like an ancient light bulb, most Egyptologists see it as a mesmerizing portrayal of the sun god rising from the lotus flower, a symbol of creation itself. Qubbet El-Hawa tomb. The necropolis of Qubbet El-Hawa stands tall as one of Egypt's most ancient tombs, a place where history, mystery, and celestial alignment all come together. This incredible tomb came to light through the committed work of researchers from the University of Malaga and the University of Haiyan. Fascinatingly, this tomb shares a powerful link with a celestial event known as the winter solstice. When the winter solstice arrives, the sun's rays break through the darkness, casting a mesmerizing glow that illuminates the tomb in a stunning natural display. This ancient burial site belonged to a governor from the 12th dynasty, around 1830 BC. The perfect alignment of the tomb with the winter solstice isn't merely chance. It signifies a fresh beginning. It's like a symbol of renewal when light triumphs over darkness. As if following a cosmic script, the summer solstice syncs with the annual flooding of the Nile, a pivotal event in the ancient Egyptian calendar. These solstices mark significant moments in the sun's path and hold deep meaning in ancient Egyptian beliefs about life, death, and rebirth. The exceptional gold-clad mummies. Shortly after the uncovering of well-preserved mummies in 2020, another recent discovery took place in the same location, led by archaeologists from the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities. They unearthed 250 tombs of mummies from the 5th and 6th dynasties, marking them as the most exquisitely preserved mummies ever found. Among this exceptional collection, standouts include a priest inspector and noble overseer named Meru, a confidential guard of the pharaoh, and Fetek, a judge and scribe. While many mummies were adorned with golden leaves, one stood out in a 15-meter shaft, encasing a limestone sarcophagus, mummy of Hekashepes, entirely cloaked in layers of gold. Although partially gilded mummies are not uncommon, Hatshepsut stands out as the oldest complete mummy ever discovered, entirely swathed in gold, a testament to the mastery of ancient Egyptian burial practices. Tutankhamun's ancient trumpet. In 1939, a remarkable story captivated attention as it was revealed that a silver trumpet found in Tutankhamun's tomb was about to be heard for the very first time. Tutankhamun's trumpet was one of two instruments found in the tomb's antechamber. They varied in size, with one measuring around 1 foot and 7.685 inches, and the other slightly larger at 1 foot and 10.835 inches. These short copper trumpets are unique in their design, with a rolled tube that expands in bore size. These trumpets were not alone in the tomb. They were surrounded by an astonishing collection of 5,000 distinct objects. While Tutankhamun's gold mask might steal the spotlight, these lesser-known artifacts are equally fascinating. In contrast to the modern trumpets we know, Tutankhamun's trumpet lacks valves. Its mouthpiece features a cylindrical sleeve adorned with a silver ring, adding to its mystique. Surprisingly, Tutankhamun's trumpet and its companion have been played recently, providing a captivating glimpse into their musical abilities. While these ancient trumpets produce sounds, the lowest notes they can play are D and C. The purpose of Tutankhamun's trumpet remains a mystery, although some researchers speculate it might have been used for military purposes. The figures of 3 gods seen on the trumpet's bell were the tutelary deities of 3 out of 4 divisions of Ramses III's army at the Battle of Kadesh, which occurred around 1275 BC, a mere 75 years after Tutankhamun's passing. Their names and titles are inscribed in hieroglyphs, suggesting a link to ancient battles and the significance of music in history. Ramses II Statue. In a vast desert, a colossal statue of Ramses II was discovered among the ancient ruins of Memphis, an ancient city. This monumental statue represents Ramses II, a mighty leader from the 19th dynasty of Egypt. It had rested in the sand for over 130 years before being unearthed by explorers in 2012. Led by Dietrich Rau from the University of Leipzig, a team of archaeologists uncovered this remarkable piece of history. When discovered, the statue lay in 6 pieces near the entrance of a temple honoring Ramses the Great. Although lacking inscriptions, its proximity to the temple strongly suggested it depicted the legendary ruler. While the upper part of the colossal limestone statue was found, the search for the remaining sections continued. Within the excavation, a portion of a life-size limestone statue belonging to Ramses II's grandson, Seti II, was also revealed. This discovery enriches our understanding of Ramses II and the exceptional architecture of his era. The Silver Pharaoh's tomb. In 1939, a French archaeologist named Pierre Montet found something amazing while digging in northern Egypt. He stumbled upon a hidden treasure, even more astonishing than Tutankhamun's famous discovery. This tomb was special because it was grand and filled with beautiful jewels and treasures that amazed archaeologists. But the most incredible part was the silver sarcophagus inside. It's the only one ever found in ancient Egypt, and it's really something to see. As researchers studied the hieroglyphs in the tomb, they figured out that it belonged to Pharaoh Psusennes I. But who was he, and why did he get such a fancy burial? The investigation revealed a story of political drama, a lost city, and a leader who brought a troubled country together. This earned him the impressive title of the Silver Pharaoh. The Great Library of Alexandria. The Great Library of Alexandria was a significant institution, lasting for almost a millennium and amassing over 700,000 books. That's an enormous amount of reading material. Within its walls lay some secrets from ancient times, like hidden treasures from long-lost civilizations. Over time, the library faced considerable challenges, such as robberies, thefts, and the destruction of manuscripts. Then, in an unfortunate turn of events, Julius Caesar became involved. In 48 BC, during a significant conflict, he accidentally set fire to the whole place and poof, the library was gone. It does prompt reflection, doesn't it? What if that library were still around today? It could have contained answers to significant mysteries, like how the pyramids were built. Some even speculate that it might have held secrets about things like aliens. Unfortunately, we lost it all. but it's intriguing to consider the mind-boggling information it might have housed if it had endured. The secrets of the Black Pyramid. The Labyrinth of Hawara, also known as the Black Pyramid of Dashur, is a place full of secrets and ancient stories. It's located about 60 miles southeast of Cairo, right in the middle of the desert. This place has become a big deal for tourists and archaeologists because it's thought to have been built by Amenemhat III, the 6th pharaoh of the 12th dynasty. The pyramid is huge, about 75 meters tall, with a base of 105 meters, and it's covered in limestone, making it look tough and old, like ancient fortresses. The ancient Labyrinth. Underneath this pyramid, archaeologists found an underground structure that looks a lot like a medieval kingdom. This secret underground place was discovered in 2008 and is super interesting. Even Herodotus, a Greek historian who visited the pyramid around the 5th century, said it was an extraordinary complex with tons of rooms. The underground area in the Black Pyramid is split into 2 parts, one for the king and one for his wives. Both sections had their own doors and were connected by corridors. Inside the king's part, there's a pink granite sarcophagus with a special symbol, while the queen's part also has similar sarcophagi and some of her jewelry, like a perfume jar and other things. These passages were seen as really important in ceremonies, believed to be the home of Osiris, the god of the underworld. Some of these paths led to the king's part, which is mostly intact and has a sarcophagus and jars. The labyrinth has 12 courts with gates and 2 types of chambers, some above ground and others higher up. While the upper part has been checked out, the lower part is still a big mystery. People have tried to draw maps of the labyrinth based on old writings, but what's down there is still a secret hidden in the sands of Hawara. The mystery of this labyrinth is a real puzzle that keeps challenging what we know about history. The ancient city of Alexandria. Underneath the modern streets of Alexandria, the first noticeable discovery is the ancient cistern, a water supply system that goes 3 stories deep, resembling a grand cathedral from the past. Built more than 1,000 years ago, this creation shows how clever our ancestors were, using parts of old temples and churches to make something incredible. Alexandria was like a bright light of knowledge, having what might be the world's oldest surviving university complex. Just think about walking in the same special halls where smart people talked and thought about the mysteries of life. And we can't forget the famous pharaohs and the huge 440-foot-tall lighthouse that stood over the harbor for almost 2,000 years. This awesome building helped ships go safely through rough waters, and its story still captures our imaginations. 100 Forgotten Coffins. Nearly 100 forgotten coffins were uncovered in South Cairo by antiquities officials. Some of these coffins house mummies, though the identities of these ancient individuals remain a mystery. When one coffin was opened, it revealed a remarkably well-preserved mummy clothed in ancient garb. The scientists were astonished by the incredible state of preservation, confirmed through an X-ray examination. The items found date back to the Ptolemaic dynasty, a reign that spanned about 300 years from 320 BC to 30 BC. Khaled, Egypt's tourism and antiquities minister, mentioned plans to relocate these artifacts to 3 Cairo museums, including the prestigious Grand Egyptian Museum. The Egyptian Museum in Cairo boasts an array of ancient sculptures, among them the Kafra Statue, also recognized as Khephren enthroned. This statue, crafted from anthracite gneiss, an exceptionally robust and dark stone, was discovered in 1860 CE by Auguste Mariette, the initial head of the Egyptian Antiquity Service. It was found concealed in a pit beneath Khafra's Valley Temple. The Kafra Statue. This statue depicts the pharaoh Kafra from the 4th dynasty seated on a throne with lion paws, displaying a raised fist and an open hand while gazing upwards and beyond. The throne's sides were adorned with the Sematawi, a symbol unifying Upper and Lower Egypt. They were inscribed with hieroglyphs outlining the king's responsibilities, binding the political facets of ancient Egypt. Furthermore, a falcon's wings extend to develop the back of the king's headdress, symbolizing the deity Horus, often linked with the ruling king in Upper Egypt. The statue represented not only the pinnacle of ancient Egyptian craftsmanship, but also technical finesse, harmonizing idealism and naturalism across various stones like quartzite, limestone, and greywacke. Kafra's statuary continued to shape royal imagery, illustrating the connection between the pharaoh and the divine. Servants of the afterlife. Ushabtis, resembling mummified human figures, are a fascinating aspect of ancient Egyptian culture. These figurines often have their arms crossed over their chests, giving them a distinctive appearance. Crafted from materials like clay and wood, the most common material used was faience, readily available in ancient Egypt and employed in crafting various objects, from vessels to jewelry. In the belief system of the ancient Egyptians, the afterlife was a continuation of earthly existence, including daily tasks. Ushabtis were thought to come to life in the afterlife to perform the menial tasks that the deceased would be asked to do, emphasizing the importance of agriculture. As agriculture played a significant role in Egyptian life, it was believed that this practice would continue in the afterlife. Consequently, most Ushabtis are depicted holding agricultural tools like hoes, bags, or seeds, ensuring they knew what to do when their owners entered the afterlife. Ancient Egyptians inscribed a short spell from the Book of the Dead on these figurines, designed to activate the Ushabti and provide them with instructions for carrying out work on behalf of the deceased. The Tulli Papyrus Mystery. You can find ancient drawings, letters, or seals on papyrus, apart from walls. But among the ordinary scrolls, there's something extraordinary. A true treasure that might just reveal UFO secrets. That's the Tulli Papyrus. No one's entirely sure how it was discovered, but its translation places it during Pharaoh Thutmose III's time, around 1480 BC. This old piece of paper reveals something mysterious from the past. UFOlogists have their eyes on this text. It details a peculiar event. It appears that in the 22nd year, a massive ball of fire appeared in the sky, silent and stretching 46 meters long, gliding over the palace. It's like an ancient UFO sighting straight from the past. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Remember to subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and share the video.